They claim silence is golden, but for Michael B. Jordan, quiet has become a cage. Picture being at your career peak, the world's golden boy, only to have your past ghosts collide with the industry's grimiest secrets in one devastating heartbeat. The headlines are howling. The internet is fractured. Rumors of unreleased tapes featuring Lori Harvey and Sean Diddy Combs haven't just leaked, they have detonated. But it is not the footage haunting the streets tonight, it is the shattered composure of a man who thought he knew the woman he loved. Insiders claim Michael was blindsided in a room full of people, forced to witness a side of the industry that even Hollywood's elite are afraid to whisper about. His only words through the betrayal? "This is upsetting to me." But behind those 5 words lies a controversy that could dismantle legacies. Was this a calculated move to break him, or a truth too toxic to stay buried? Tonight we aren't just talking about a breakup. We're pulling back the curtain on a PR nightmare that has left the sexiest man alive absolutely speechless. Buckle up. This isn't just gossip, this is a total collapse. Hollywood air is thin, but tonight for Michael B. Jordan it is totally toxic. To the public, he represents the blueprint of success, chiseled, disciplined, and untouchable. But behind the heavy doors of a posh Beverly Hills lounge, that mask didn't just slip, it exploded. It started with a notification, a ping that echoed like a gunshot in a silent room. Then came the whispers. The specific whispers that do not just ruin a reputation, they incinerate a soul. The rumors of those Lori Harvey and Sean Diddy Combs tapes aren't just tabloid trash anymore, they have become a haunting reality that Michael was never meant to witness. For months the public bought the narrative of a clean break, a mutual moving on between the industry's most curated couple. But the industry has a way of vomiting up the truth when you least expect it. As the footage, alleged shadowy and deeply personal, began to circulate within elite circles, Michael wasn't just a bystander. Sources say he was forced to confront a timeline he didn't know existed. A timeline where the woman he envisioned a future with was allegedly entangled in the complex dark web of one of the industry's most powerful and controversial figures, Sean Diddy Combs. Imagine the psychological toll. You are Michael B. Jordan. You've spent years building a brand based on integrity and main character energy. You gave your heart to someone who the world treats like a trophy, only to find out that the game was rigged from the start. The tension in the room when he first saw the headlines wasn't just anger, it was a cold, paralyzing betrayal. Witnesses describe him as becoming a ghost of himself, staring at a screen while the world around him continued to toast to his success. The contrast is sickening, the flashing lights of the paparazzi on the outside and the pitch-black darkness of a personal collapse on the inside. This isn't just about a tape. In the high-stakes world of Hollywood PR, a tape is a weapon. It's a tool for leverage, a way to remind the golden boys that they are never truly in control. Why now? Why, as the Sean Diddy Combs empire faces unprecedented scrutiny, does this specific ghost reappear to haunt Michael? The stakes have never been clearer. This isn't just the reputation of Lori Harvey on the line, it's the collateral damage of Michael's sanity. For the first time, we see the human cost of being Hollywood's sweetheart. We see a man realizing that the woman he loved might have been playing a part in a much larger, much more dangerous production. The betrayal runs deeper than a secret relationship. It's the realization that in the world of elite power players, everything is transactional. People close to the situation claim that Michael's immediate circle tried to shield him, but some truths are too loud to be ignored. When he finally spoke, his voice wasn't filled with the thunder of a movie star, it was the hollowed-out whisper of a man who had seen too much. "This is upsetting to me," he reportedly said. 5 simple words that carry the weight of 1,000 tears. It wasn't a PR statement, it was a plea for air. But as we peel back the layers, the plot takes a sinister turn. There are whispers that this leak was no accident. In the shadowy corridors of the music and film industry, nothing is ever truly random. Was this a warning shot from the Sean Diddy Combs camp? Or was it a desperate attempt by someone to bridge the gap between 2 different worlds of influence? The narrative is shifting from a heartbreak to a conspiracy. We are looking at a triangle of power, fame, and secrets that were never meant to leave the vault. Lori Harvey, the ultimate enigma, sits at the center of it all, silent, composed, while the men around her face the fire. The speechless reaction of Michael B. Jordan wasn't just about the content of what he saw, it was about the betrayal of the vibe. He believed in a version of Lori that was hers alone. Now, he is forced to share that memory with the shadow of a mogul whose name is currently synonymous with the beginning of the end. The emotional intensity of this moment is unprecedented. It is the Cinderella story hitting a brick wall at 100 miles per hour. We aren't just watching a celebrity news cycle. We are watching a man lose his faith in the industry that made him. As the night deepened, the silence from the camp of Michael B. Jordan became deafening. No "we are moving on" posts. No focusing on work gym videos. Just a void. A void filled with the echoes of what those tapes allegedly represent. A loss of innocence in a city that trades in sin. The question isn't just what was on the tapes. It is what Michael does now that he knows the truth. Does he protect the woman who broke him? Or does he let the fire burn the whole house down? The suspense is no longer about the if. It is about the what is next. The industry is holding its breath. Every power player from Atlanta to Calabasas is watching. Because if Michael B. Jordan can be blindsided like this, no one is safe. The upsetting reality is that in Hollywood, your most intimate moments are just currency for someone else's bank account. And tonight, Michael found out exactly how much his heartbreak is worth. This is the end of the golden era, and the beginning of a cold, hard winter for the sexiest man alive. The tapes are just the beginning. The real story is the man left in the wreckage, trying to remember who he was before he became a headline. The silence that followed the initial reaction of Michael B. Jordan wasn't peaceful. It was the heavy, suffocating stillness before a storm that threatens to level an entire city. If part 1 was the discovery of the wound, now this part is the infection spreading through the veins of Hollywood's elite. As the digital ink dried on the headlines, a new, more sinister layer of the story began to emerge from the shadows of the Sean Diddy Combs estate. This wasn't just a case of an ex-girlfriend with a complicated past. This was a calculated chess move in a game where Michael was never told he was a player. The twist that sent shockwaves through the inner circle of Michael B. Jordan wasn't the existence of the tapes themselves, but the timing of their emergence. Why now? Why? As the empire of Sean Diddy Combs sits on the edge of a federal precipice, does the name of Lori Harvey get dragged back into the eye of the hurricane? Rumors began to swirl in the late-night hours of a private Soho House meeting. The tapes weren't leaked by a disgruntled employee or a bored hacker. They were allegedly being used as collateral. In the high-stakes underworld of celebrity leverage, information is the only currency that matters when the feds come knocking. The devastating realization for Michael wasn't just that his past love had a secret life. It was the terrifying possibility that his own reputation was being used as a shield to distract the public from much darker investigations. Visualize the psychological warfare. Michael B. Jordan, the man who meticulously polished his unproblematic king image, suddenly finds his reputation tethered to a federal-level scandal. Sources close to the star describe a scene of pure cinematic Greek tragedy. Michael, sitting in his darkened home office, surrounded by awards and scripts, realizing that every perfect moment shared with Lori Harvey might have been monitored. The tension reaches a fever pitch when a second revelation surfaces, a twist that no one saw coming. There are whispers that Michael wasn't just speechless because of the tapes. He was speechless because he recognized something in them, a piece of jewelry, a background setting, or perhaps a date, that suggested the overlap between his timeline and the world of Sean Diddy Combs wasn't just a rumor. It was a collision. The stakes shifted from heartbreak to survival. If Michael B. Jordan is seen as even a peripheral witness to the world of Diddy, his career, the Marvel contracts, the directorial debuts, the luxury endorsements, could vanish in an instant. This is the addictive tension that keeps the industry awake at night. We aren't just looking at a man who lost a girlfriend. We are looking at a man who is looking at the exit sign of his own career. Every phone call from his agent now feels like a death sentence. Every "we need to talk" text from his PR team is a reminder that in the world of the ultra-famous, you are only as safe as your darkest secret. And then there is Lori Harvey, the ultimate it girl who has mastered the art of the silent exit. But for the first time, her silence feels different. It feels like a confession. The controversy deepens as insiders suggest that Lori isn't a victim in this narrative, but a strategist. Is it possible that the woman who captured the hearts of Hollywood's most eligible bachelors was the ultimate industry insider, moving between power players like a ghost in the machine? The human element here is raw and bleeding. Michael is forced to ask himself the most painful question a lover can face. Did I ever actually know her? Or was I just a chapter in a much larger, more dangerous book? The emotional intensity peaks when we consider that upsetting quote in a new light. It wasn't just a comment on the gossip. It was a realization of the betrayal of the brotherhood. In the industry, there is an unwritten code among the titans. For Sean Diddy Combs, a man Michael once looked up to as a blueprint for black excellence and entrepreneurial power, to be at the center of this web is a generational trauma. It's the father figure and the partner conspiring in a digital vault to haunt your future. The air in Hollywood isn't just thin anymore. It is poisonous. Now this part draws to a close. The suspense moves from the past to the immediate future. A mysterious third party has allegedly reached out to Michael's team with a deal. Silence for silence. But Michael B. Jordan isn't a man who likes to be told what to do. The Netflix-style cliffhanger isn't about whether the tapes will be fully released to the public. It's about whether Michael will choose to burn his own bridge to ensure the truth comes out. He is standing at the edge of a precipice, looking down at the wreckage of a PR nightmare, realizing that the only way out is through the fire. The world is watching, waiting for the golden boy to either break or become a monster to fight the monsters. The tapes are no longer the story. The story is the war for Michael's soul. And the revelation that in Hollywood, the person sleeping next to you might be the one holding the camera. Tonight, the sexiest man alive isn't looking in the mirror. He's looking at the door, wondering who is coming for him next. The collapse isn't coming. It is already here. The fallout has moved beyond the tabloids. It has entered the realm of a psychological thriller where the walls of Hollywood are closing in, and the air smells like burnt bridges and desperation. If the first 2 chapters were about the shock and the leverage, now this part is about the reckoning. As the sun sets over the Hollywood hills, the orange glow looks less like a postcard and more like a city on fire. Michael B. Jordan isn't just speechless anymore. He is haunted. Sources close to the star describe a man who has stopped looking at his phone. A man who has realized that his entire life, every workout, every red carpet, every romantic getaway, was perhaps just a beautifully staged distraction from a reality too dark to contemplate. But the most chilling twist was yet to come. That addictive tension snapped when a cryptic message leaked from the inner sanctum of Sean Diddy Combs. It was not a threat. It was an invitation. A reminder that in the industry's upper echelons, everyone is bound by a bloodline of secrets. The revelation that sent Michael B. Jordan into a spiral was not just about Lori and Diddy. It was the suggestion that the footage featured a blurred glimpse of a third person. Someone Michael trusted. Someone currently sitting in his own boardroom. The stakes shifted from personal heartbreak to a total systemic collapse. Imagine the betrayal. Finding out those tapes were not just a record of an affair, but a dossier of surveillance. The industry was not just watching Lori Harvey. It was watching Michael through her. The sexiest man alive suddenly feels like the most vulnerable man on earth. Every major luxury endorsement is now hanging by a thread. The golden boy image is being corroded by the acid of association. One wrong move, one leaked transcript of a panicked call, and the Creed legacy does not just end. It becomes a cautionary tale. The emotional intensity of this chapter lies in Michael's isolation. He is standing in the middle of a glass house, holding a sledgehammer, wondering if it is better to shatter everything himself than to wait for the feds to do it. People close to him say his upsetting mantra has shifted into something militant. He is no longer mourning a relationship. He is mourning his innocence. He is realizing that the brotherhood he believed in was actually a predatory network where loyalty is bought. And silence is the only thing that keeps you alive. But then, the ultimate cinematic twist, Lori Harvey breaks her silence, but not in the way anyone expected. Instead of a PR statement, a series of deleted then reposted images began to appear. Images that did not show the tapes, but showed the handlers behind the scenes. The implication was clear. She was not just a participant. She was a witness. And she was tired of carrying the weight of men's secrets. The tension between Michael and Lori transformed from a bitter breakup into a high-stakes standoff. Is she the villain? Or is she the only person who can tell Michael how deep the rabbit hole really goes? The controversy is now a fever dream. The public is divided. Some see Michael B. Jordan as the tragic hero, the man who stayed clean in a dirty game. Others are starting to ask the dangerous questions. How much did he know? How could he not have seen the shadows at the edge of the frame? The human element is raw. It is the sound of a man's voice cracking during a late-night call to his mother, the only person left he can trust. It is the sight of him sitting in a parked car at 3 a.m., looking at the bright lights of a city that he once conquered, but now feels like a predator waiting to swallow him whole. The suspense is no longer about a scandal. It is about a disappearance. Not a physical one, but the disappearance of the Michael B. Jordan we thought we knew. The upsetting truth is that Hollywood does not permit heroes to stay pure. To survive this, Michael is being told he has to play the game, which means burying the truth to save the brand. But the look in his eyes in recent paparazzi shots tells a different story. It is the look of a man who is ready to let the tapes play if it means finally seeing the faces of the people who tried to ruin him. Now this part concludes. The Netflix cliffhanger is not a leaked video. It is a knock at the door. Not from a journalist, not from an agent, but from someone representing the old guard of the industry. The people who make Sean Diddy Combs look like a small-timer. They have a proposal that will either fix everything or erase Michael from the history books forever. The camera lingers on Michael's face as he reaches for the door handle. The screen goes black. The world is left breathless. The shade is not just about gossip anymore. It is about the survival of a legacy. In the dark heart of the entertainment industry, the tapes are just the beginning of the end. The real horror is finding out that once you have seen the truth, you can never go back to being the golden boy. You can only be a survivor, or a memory. This is the collapse of an icon. The screen is fading to black, but the fire is just starting to spread. You have seen the mask slip, you have heard the whispers of the tapes, and you have felt the walls of Hollywood closing in on Michael B. Jordan. But the most terrifying part? This is not just a story, it is a warning. In a world where legacies are traded like currency and your private life is just someone else's leverage, whose side are you really on? Is Michael the tragic victim of a predatory machine? Or is he a man who ignored the shadows for far too long? And what about Lori Harvey? Is she the architect of her own survival? Or the ultimate whistleblower waiting for the right moment to burn it all down? The industry wants you to look away. They want this buried. But we don't blink. Don't let the curtain close. If you want the inside track when the next vault opens, when the names behind the camera are finally dragged into the light, you need to smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications. This is not just news. It is the front line of a war for the truth. Now, I want to hear from you, because the silence ends here. Do you think Michael should break his silence and expose the old guard, even if it costs him everything? Or is he right to stay speechless while the world watches him bleed? Scroll down and drop your shade in the comments. The most revealing theories will be featured in our emergency follow-up. Share this video before it is taken down, before the PR team scrub the internet. Because once the truth is out, there is no going back. Stay vigilant. The deeper we go, the darker it gets.